Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 158 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have our players here today. Same as always. We have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Last time we left off, we were still partying, I am sure, to some extent, each person on their own scale, having a good time. Um, Probably mostly Fen having a good time as he got to speak to the beautiful, the wonderful Benjamin Brown, who just seems to be a bear who can talk, a person that is a bear, just a bear. We don't know. It is never clarified. It's just a bear on two legs that speaks common quite well,
He's
and
beautiful.
just seems happy to be here and won't turn down an invitation for free food and drink and fun. Uh, Nyx has also gone and spoken to Calendula, who I've been calling it the duality of Calendula, where Roshan got the stick and Nyx got the carrot. Um, as Nyx goes and asks about the curse, and Calendula basically is like, "You already know there's not much I can give you based on what you're telling me now," but does look it over, seems upset for her, offers her not a way to deal with the curse, but the thing, the warding protection that was placed upon her to hold it at bay. If it is triggered by emotion, then you should do something to help regulate your emotions. And says after the party, if you are interested, you can swing by the store if you're willing to behave this time and pick up some medicines that could possibly help with maybe brain chemicals. Unclear. Uh, and Calendula also gives the advice of if you're not a widow, you shouldn't act like one. And Nyx was like, "Yeah, that's actually pretty solid advice. I'll take it." And they
It's
part
valid, you
ways.
know?
It's pretty good advice. In these trying times, pretty good
You
advice.
know, if you
Uh,
aren't a widow, don't walk around in circles like you're a widow.
yeah. And insisted that circles are curses in and of themselves, and also brought up their a bit of information about their past, about knowing somebody who may have uh, spoken of hags or magics in the woods and had knowledge there. But also warned Nyx that if she continues, that he thinks the next time the ice expands, it will start causing issues with mobility. So that is now on the brain. Um, Everyone goes to do like a good handful of people go to do drugs. Um, Nana gets into a fight, a little scrap with the second of Tan's polar opposite, and they scrap. And after a close fight, Nana comes out victorious, using an invention of Tan's that is just a terrible set of hooked metal arms that their whole intent is to grab and snare. But because she is not strong enough, she was easy to push down and around. But still, nonetheless, she won the day against this other second. And
Pretty impressive considering she kept falling on her ass.
yeah, at least she was able to, at least in 5e, you could stand up so easy, half movement, weird. But when you had that thing on your back, it did cost you more to stand up, but nothing detrimental, it seems. Um, and you were able to hold on to Blur, and you are victorious. During this combat, Roshan goes and talks to the who have been lovingly appointed the vampire boyfriends, um, and they seem to
As we
live
call them,
in
roommates.
a quaint uh, place in the woods outside of Skull City, that it is nice to have some place to be alone, but also being next to a large city that you can get to pretty easily is very nice as well. But they're not sure how long they will stay. Uh, Seem pleasant enough. And during and after the fight, Russ's handler approaches, dressed for the party, and Russ seems concerned and approaches her, and they have a half mental conversation where he finds out that his boss is currently dealing with something and cannot attend till tomorrow. He offers his services. She says, probably not needed. That's the assumption based on his reactions. And he says that he will keep an eye on her while she is at the party, and then goes back to Nick's to go and dance as the energy from the fight slowly begins to fade and people begin to separate. Russ is going to look at Nyx, as you both had said you were going to go for a dance. Um, I hate to derail us a little bit, but I feel like I have to think about what's important for us in the long term, and we should probably eat something.
That does make sense. Yeah. Okay, food and then dancing.
Food and then
Yeah.
dance.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm all for
We
it.
have both done a good amount of drugs and we have not eaten. We should eat.
That's
I did have
not once today. Yeah.
a sip of a cider or something, but
We had the whole thing. We both had our whole cider.
I don't even remember it. You can still see that this man looks fucked up. It has not been a crazy long amount of time since his last fight. Time is edging forward, but the two
Like
of
there
you
were two
make
fights in between, but at the same time, not that
yeah,
long.
there were fights do not take a long time. Honestly, the preparation for fights at the beginning takes longer than the fights themselves. But Nyx and Russ are going to start heading towards food and drink. Held. I'd love to know where you are heading. I'm just getting everybody's kind of directions at this time, like where we're going. Where are we in the grand scheme? As you watch Russ and Nyx head in a direction, Fen went over to Nana. Roshan is still undecided because I haven't gotten to him because I didn't ask yet. But you could see that most of you, besides Nana, probably could see the conversation between the handler. Just nobody knows who she is besides Nyx. Nyx is the only one who met her, I believe. But Cal, do you have an idea of what you would like to do, or what just a direction you would like me to point you in, or you point me in? Somebody point. Please point.
I guess he'll. So Nana just finished her fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess he'll head that way and congratulate her.
Okay. So you'll be part of team Nana, Fen, Keld, and all of you will be around the circle. Roshan, where are you going? You currently just concluded some farewells with vampire boyfriends, Vermeer and Paris. They seem to, you can still hear them talking as they are turning and going, and you pick up bits of conversation. I I suppose I like the new stuff, but I wish he would sing, one of his originals. I'd like that. Maybe we'll get lucky, darling. Come on. And the two of them are heading in the direction of dancing.
Roshan's eyes, after the fight is done, wanted to scan the crowd and see if Alyona was still standing at the door to the dancing area, just standing and staring apparently, and he'd like to go help if he can.
Well, by golly, help if you can. Alyona, you kind of like brace yourself and you're like, when I turn around, Alyona won't be standing there staring into the abyss. And she still is. She's probably been standing in that spot now for not an hour, under an hour, but She has been standing there for a hot minute looking inwards. And you're welcome to approach.
Yeah, Roshan will grab 2 drinks off of a tray and get within her eyesight before offering one.
Boo, you say from behind. And the man turned to dust and floated away.
And everyone forgot he existed.
Weird how he just stopped being. Where did all this dust come
Whoa,
from?
they're a false Hydra here or something?
Weird. Hey guys, big shift. It's false Hydra time.
Oh no! Oh god, no!
Not like you guys would remember it. Okay.
What were we talking about?
Oh God. Roshan, you approach Alyona and kind of like when dealing with an animal backed into a corner, you make sure that you do not approach fully from behind and kind of make yourself known. Alyona does. You can see just the slight glance of an eye, and she's acknowledging you're there, and then turns her eyes back into the room. You can see that. Go ahead and roll me insight.
Sure.
Let's get some emotions in play.
That's a 31.
Jesus Christ. And she's not even. Well, actually, you know what? Babes is gonna try to. No, my good dice. My only dice that's rolling good, please. I will let
away.
her roll deception because she's a bad bitch and can only be so bad sometimes. You can see someone who is trying to contain the emotions of fear and awe. It is like somebody seeing something for the first time, and she has been staring at it for a long time. Something in this room.
Can Roshan see what?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, that's much worse. A 10.
Okay. You look through the room and you kind of put into boxes in your mind things that would cause that reaction in the thing that should cause that reaction standing next to you. And nothing seems strange to you. There's people in the room. People are dancing. Even Alder is almost singing in a comprehensible way.
Sorry, give me 1 second. My headphones just disconnected from stream. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay. While you stand next to Alyona and look into the void, meanwhile, Fen and Keld are going to approach Nana in the circle. Nana, near immediately, Tan has come over with some assistance, and they are already taking the arms off of you.
Thank you. Oh god, that thing's heavy. You're kidding. Whew. Sorry, I hope it didn't rough it up too much.
It's okay. It's probably harder to break than a person is, so it's fine.
Certainly made of sterner stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, good job. And kind of walks with these men as they go over to the doorman, who kind of puts the arms back into this alternate dimensional space. And your friends approach you.
Just real fast, before the arms are put away, I just kind of want to give them like a visual once-over. Like, I know that the arms took some hits for me in the fight, and I kind of want to get an idea for how roughed up they got from that.
So sadly in this situation, because of how quickly they are removed from you, and the fact that this is an investigation check, I need it with disadvantage. All right. Because you needed more time than they are giving you.
Got it. Okay. Neither one was very high. Let me just see what the plus is. It's not going to be great. That's yeah, the worst one is a total of 5.
It's nothing looks broken to you.
That's good.
You're like it almost looks the same maybe, but it's gone in a flash, and
Oh,
you're like, all
all
right, all right, bye.
Guess
Maybe
I'll-
I'll get to see him again.
I guess. Maybe.
Maybe
I'm
I'll
gonna
see him
fight
tomorrow.
again, so
Yeah,
who
it's
knows?
possible. Or somebody might not challenge you. It's up in the air. Or you could challenge somebody because, to be fair, this just put you and Tan kind of, mostly Tan as like the kind of
The
line
name.
here. You put Tan back at the same spot she started at.
Okay.
So the apology
That
brought
at
her down.
least
The fight brought her back up again. So
Okay.
she's probably at neutral and maybe slightly like just a smidge above, but not enough to count for anything. But it's just the
Okay.
idea of it all. But
Okay.
but she is at neutral. And Keld and Fen come over to join you.
I
Have
will
at it.
say, like even after the healing I got from the people around the ring, Nana is still sitting at 22 hit points out of a total of 108.
Well, they gave you like six hit points, so
Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
not
that's about right.
too
That's about right.
generous.
No,
Yeah.
but that's okay. I mean, it's more than none, and Nana's grateful. She's just still looking kind of roughed up.
I feel you.
The whips didn't really catch her very often. I figured maybe like one of them caught her weird across the cheek at some point, maybe. But she's looking pretty jazzed, tired, but doing okay.
So when Fan approaches, he
Fen, you're muted.
I'm muted. I am.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Nope. I can hear him.
Can you? I cannot.
Yep.
Oh,
I
really?
can hear him.
Heck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, should I listen on stream?
It's
It'll be on a
who
delay.
knows how far behind your stream is. Kel, do you want to say something first, and then Fen will give you a thumbs up?
Well done, Nana.
Thank you so much. I'm pleasantly surprised I pulled that off. I was not accustomed to that contraption, but
No,
it was useful.
those arms were wild.
I was not expecting anything like that when Tan offered to allow me to try out a prototype of hers, but solid construction. I mean, I'm not probably the right body type to make best use of it, but aside from that,
Yeah, it worked in your favor.
and I was able to get up anytime I got knocked down. It just kept fucking happening.
Keld, kind of just looking on. You didn't get to touch the arms, but you're like, those can't be much heavier than the pot and everything I put inside of it. And you're like, I feel like I could carry them, but also they're not mine. And also there is something menacing about them. They are, it is,
Bladey
I don't
claw
wanna-
things.
I don't want to go around and start calling things cruel, but it could be.
They definitely
Mhm.
could be used for cruelty.
Yeah. Pretty intense.
Do you know why she has them?
It's to do with her business. They do construction of different sorts of, constructs, things that can be useful during either times of war or times of peace. I believe that's one of the wartime models. So
Okay.
Nana, can you hear me yet?
No. Wait, did you hear him?
very faintly, very faintly.
I
Wait,
can.
it's on stream. It's not on.
So
Huh.
I'm going to once again shift focus as I'm going to let Nana have a second to probably refresh because I think she might be the problem. And I'm going to shift focus again. This is nice. The one good thing about the party being split is that I could talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Whoever you want.
I can talk to
Yeah.
whoever I want. And that person's going to be Roshan. As we move back to Roshan, nothing catches your eye, but she continues to look outward. She doesn't seem bothered by your presence there, and doesn't seem like she's like trying to block you off from her. Like she's fine with you. It's just something about walking past the threshold of this building. She turns and kind of acknowledges you, really for the first time, a real acknowledgement, and sees you are holding 2 drinks and is going to take one of them and focuses back into the room. Do you see that man? And she's going to give a slight gesture with her hand, and it's hard to kind of pinpoint. And after a bit of coaxing, she's pointing at a well-dressed man. Uh, it seems like black sort of tunic, very simple, very slim, very elegant looking. Long dark hair, pale, a smile on his face, and he is at this moment in the walking past people who are dancing and grabbing a drink off of a tray. Seems to be talking to people, acknowledging them, and just existing in the space. Do you see him? So she looks at you. She's gonna roll insight now. um, what do you see? Mm-hmm. Um,
I hear him.
suck, Joshua. He's muted for stream probably. Um, meanwhile, Nyx walks in.
You're jumping
Nyx,
around now.
We played it fast
guys,
and loose, boys.
this is exactly how I wanted to do this. Uh,
Mm,
everybody gets a sentence in and then it's over. Move.
yeah. We grab food. Go.
Yeah, and you're done. Well, now I don't hear anything. Say hi, Josh, real
No.
quick.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you when you're talking. Hi, Joshua. Yeah, we'll let you and the producer figure that out. Nyx, you and Russ make your way to food and drink, and the beautiful smells of cooked meat, some beautifully like over the top colored pastry, and just like piles of fruits and cheese. Just an exorbitant, gorgeous looking display of food. And sitting at a bar, trying not to, you realize trying not to make eye contact with you now, too slow. You see a gnomish man,
Mm,
beige and cream colored clothing, just kind of beige across the board, a little bookish, but big rosy cheeks and kind of big bottle cap glasses. Quickly, like turns his focus, like maybe she didn't see me.
maybe not.
Maybe she didn't.
Mm, I'm grabbing food and then gonna sit right next to him.
He is currently nursing a drink and is now sitting on the bar stool at like a slight angle.
Hmm. Where'd you go yesterday?
You can see Russ is actively getting 2 plates of food because he came in here with purpose.
Yeah, I have
It's
at least
we
like
have
a
to eat.
pastry.
Yeah, you were given 1 snack and you're like, all right, you can get the rest. Hold on.
Yeah, I gotta talk to this man who made me look like a fool.
Um, what did you ask him? I swear,
Where'd he go?
I
Where'd
thank
you
you. I was
go?
just like, it was deep into the void. Technical connection, fine. Mental connection, off. But he kind of sits there for a moment, his feet sort of swinging on this stool, and glances over. I
Mm, mm.
I was nervous.
I got that part. But she wanted to meet you.
I don't even know what we'd talk about.
What do you like to What do you like to do? You write stuff. You could talk about what you write. Ask what she likes to do. Russ and I like to talk about fun facts about ourselves sometimes. You could do that. There's a lot of options.
Nobody really likes to hear about my work. It's boring.
What is it?
Stories, though.
He looks at you. So, I study statistics. And Nyx, you can feel the light leaving your eyes near immediately as this man goes into detail about how he keeps stats about different agricultural things on the continent, of how he works in trade routes and how different things affect different that and this and this and this. And you pick up the occasional word
Trade
wow.
routes.
It's you're like, oh, neat. See, that's how she'd probably.
But you don't know that. She could know a lot more than I do about all of that.
And he like takes like a pretty solid sip from his drink. It's probably for the best that I just, stick to my lane, so to speak.
I don't know. If you do that, you'll never experience new things.
Russ sits down next to you and places the 2 plates.
Wow.
And
something.
you kind of just silently starts eating. You can see that like it's kind of almost like a tunnel vision for him where he is like, I'm lost now. I'm going to do one thing and I'm going to focus on it really hard. But he thinks for a moment. Go ahead and roll me persuasion.
Oh, yeah. We'll see. How do the dice feel today? They feel okay about it. That's 14. Yeah, 14 with my -1.
I'm not even sure how I'd. Do I just walk up and introduce myself? That doesn't seem like
Yeah, so you get
Enough.
her this drink, and I'll order him the drink I got her
Uh-huh.
yesterday. You give her this drink because she likes this one, and you introduce yourself. You have to do the kiss on the hand thing. That makes people like you more. At least here it
Oh.
does.
Okay. Well, and he kind of like pushes the drink like kind of like sort of away and sort of forward.
It's there when
I'll
you're ready.
yeah, I'll dwell on it.
Mm.
Thanks.
If I see her, I'll ask if you've stopped by.
The look of terror on this man's face fucking drops. You can see that you don't think your primes at this moment have fully bolstered him.
Yeah.
You feel like you were close, like you were just on the edge, but like
I'll see if I can find out more for you that she likes. Give you an edge.
Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
No,
I promise.
No, we're friends now. I don't even know your name.
Oh.
Take a bite of food.
I'm Omni Vriston.
Omni. Okay.
Dr. Omni Vriston.
See, that makes you sound even more important. That gives her reason to talk to you. See?
If you say so.
People like titles.
Okay. I'll think about it, and like takes another almost like fake sip from his drink. It's just like it touches his lips and he sets it back down.
Now fully turn to my food. I gave him what I could.
I did my best. You turn. You can see that like go ahead and roll me another some insight for me real quick, Nix.
Oh, that's much better. God.
I'm better at that, please.
Yeah, that gives me 28.
That is much better. Russ, as we all know, we don't need an inside check to know that Russ is struggling, but is handling it pretty well for what's going on. Like he's a lesser person, maybe dead, but our friend Russ isn't. But he seems to be like, it's almost like work. He is working to eat. You can see that he's forcing himself to. It is there's no joy in it. It is a forced moment of you have to get food in your body.
She's gonna kind of see if there's anything she could do to help. Can I help you?
You could see that he's been like trying to chew through this piece of bread and just seems to be struggling so deeply.
Proper foods would be better. Looking for like pudding.
Proper foods.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of go and grab a small plate full of easier to eat foods. Healthier, maybe not, but
that
easier
doesn't matter.
Eat. Less chewing involved sort of foods are brought over, and he kind of turns to that, and there's like kind of like these like fancy little jellos you found, and we're like, here's some fancy jello. Just eat stuff. And Russ seems to be going through bouts of like losing speed and then like focusing up again. He's just going through it, but he's eating jello. And that's nice.
Great.
But the man is eating and alive, so small victories.
Also make sure he has water there. Hydrate.
It is not Russ is pretty not hard to convince to do things of this nature. You bring water, he drinks it. When Nana brought water earlier, he drank it. He's not against doing things that are good for his body, even if it's like a drop in the
Yeah.
bucket compared
He's
to what's
just
going
hard
on.
at
But
the moment.
yeah. But he seems to be eating. You should eat. You should focus on eating some food. If you do that,
Mhm.
the smoke and don't eat, you're going to pass out.
Okay. I will do that while making sure you're eating. Just watching him the whole time, grabbing the food.
You're like, uh-huh.
I am. See? I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
I'm being good and eating my plate. Are you? And
Mhm.
it takes a hot minute, but Russ does finish eating and kind of like looks over at you. I'm sorry, it's just a little hard to focus.
Yeah. There was a lot of that same thing over and over, probably from that.
Yeah.
I don't,
If it's something else, fuck me. Then there's probably a problem. Uh, uh,
I mean, if it's poison, I can do poison. I can fix that.
I don't think I'm poisoned. I don't think that's the issue right now. I'm pretty sure that I'm not.
I could check.
If you want to, I won't stop you. I don't think I'm poisoned. You
Just immediately touch him and I'll cast protection from poison to get rid of a neutralize one poison that is present.
if there is a poison present, it is neutralized.
gone.
If it's there, and
There
she
we
no
go.
longer is.
Success.
But he smiles at you. There, right as rain.
Just staring. See if it's any better.
No,
Okay,
no
not
insight
that.
check needed.
Not that.
But he kind of like looks over and sees that you are no longer engaging with the doctor. The second doctor you've had a fun conversation with this
So many
evening.
doctors.
So many doctors, very cool. Would you like to go dance? I'm good. I honestly feel like it's. I don't know if it's the right thing or not, but like I feel like I need to be moving.
I think you need at least some bread first.
And just almost like a child, but begins to just eat through the bread that he is presented with. As Russ eats bread, like a dejected toddler. Nana, Fen, and Keld, who can all, I'm sure, hear each other.
I sure hope so.
Are by the circle. And Fen, if you had things you were trying to say, maybe they can happen now.
I'd love that.
So Fen approaches Nana, and like the worry kind of drains from his face, and he is replaced by a little bit of a smirk. He just says, "You fell down a lot." And
Yeah, well, I was also very top heavy, so you know, you try lugging that great thing around.
I would never. It doesn't seem like your
I
style either. And
It's
Fen
not
kind of like
really.
dusts Nana's shoulders off, and he's gonna cast
Careful.
Cure Wounds on her 3 times at second level, twice
Ooh,
with the
buddy.
spell slots, once with the pearl, and she'll get 42 points of healing back.
Holy shit,
Wow.
bud, thanks.
That's a bucket load.
Dang.
42. Life, the universe, and everything up in here. Thank you.
That is true.
Thank you, Fen. That
he-
feels a lot better.
You did a wonderful job. Next time, maybe accoutrement, weaponry that fits your style, maybe?
Maybe. Although, in fairness, not a bad thing to sort of obfuscate exactly how you fight when you're out in public, and maybe there's some people with some crosshairs on your neck.
Well, you might not be wrong, but
If nothing else, I'm sure nobody will believe that that's how I normally fight.
you did fall down a lot.
A lot.
I would
But
be
I didn't
laughing.
die.
I would be laughing my ass off if I weren't so worried.
Well,
But I
I
had confidence. I never lost confidence in you. Knew you could do it.
thank you.
Kel-
I'm feeling pretty good.
Keld, also, good job to you. Very proud of you with making a strong showing here.
Incredible, honestly.
Not
Yeah.
sure we're accomplishing what we set out to do.
Well,
Um,
we've both won both our bouts,
Well,
which
that's
does mean that puts our party a little bit on the up and up
I
as
will
far as
admit,
clout goes.
that was more of a more of a side adventure.
Well,
Well,
even still,
and that's fine. It's a party. We're meant to have fun, and I guess improving social standing matters for something. But if we don't
matters for
gain
making
anything by
sure-
the end of the night tomorrow, our social standing might not mean much when everybody disperses and goes off their own way, right?
we don't know that.
Yeah,
we don't
I'm
know
starting
that.
to feel a little lost.
I just
Well,
hoped we'd
in
accomplish
fairness-
something here.
I think we will. In fact, I think probably of any of us, Roshan's got a better idea of exactly what this is doing for us as far as our potential gains are concerned. But if nothing else, it's good to have folk speaking well of us, so long as we're on this side of the continent and so long as we're hunting a very specific person.
Well, I don't think you're wrong about Roshan. Roshan always knows twice as much as he should, but he only shares half as much as he should. So, how are you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm a lot better with that healing in me, though. I'd really like to go and sit down. I really do not intend to fight anybody else tonight unless they're really keen.
You care to grab a snack or something?
I think I need some, yeah. Whew. I gotta
maybe
put something back in me.
maybe there'll be an opportunity to meet Badgerman. Spoke with him ever so briefly, but a rude woman in a pond interrupted us, and then I had to go watch you fight.
Odd.
I did.
I don't think Nana's seen the rude woman in the pond yet.
You can
stay away
see
from
her
that,
from
just-
where you are. You can see her across the
Oh.
way, but you're not next to the pond. But you can see her. That there's a large naked woman in the pond.
And there's a gaggle of people chattering
Yeah,
and
people
laughing around. her.
people are. You can see people, rich people guffawing. But you also see
I tried to introduce
Tan.
myself to her, but she was rude.
As Fen tells you about this, you can see as you turn to see this woman, you see walking towards you very quickly is Tan.
Oh, okay. All right. Nana will kind of give both Fen and Keld a little bit of a nod, maybe step a smidge to one side. She doesn't want to cut either of them off, but she's not sure if Tan wants to be talking about whatever she's bustling over to talk about with an audience.
Tan steps in and does not wait for anybody to back up too much. Even if they start
Okay.
to, she seems fully focused in on you.
All right.
Okay, you need to follow me, and I need you to speak really highly of the thing that you just used and how it was useful to you and how it's a very useful weapon. And I don't want you to lie, but I need you to talk it up. Oh God, Tan looks to the side and shakes her head. Every
Nana
time
says,
I say more
"Nope."
than one sentence. Anytime I talk to somebody, they just have to leave, and that's okay. But Tan looks to you and seems to be kind of motioning for you to follow her. She starts walking away at a rapid pace and leaves the two of you behind as they both quickly walk off.
Sorry.
It's oh, okay, bye. And
This seems very pressing. Tan seems stressed.
Nana, you're approaching a small gaggle of people, and you recognize some of them. You see that, and you kind of maybe Tan's gonna veer. And this isn't who we're going to talk to.
Mhm.
No, that is not the case.
Oh,
She
boy.
never veers and continues forward
Okay.
as you see Egil
Mm.
and
Ah.
General Talarin
Huh.
and the Lady Lord.
Okay.
Uh, as she leads you over in that direction. And when she gets closer, she kind of slows her step down. She kind of slows the urgency and kind of
Mhm.
straightens up and walks forward.
Nana brings
I'm
herself
sorry.
in to step alongside Tan.
Hi, I'm incredibly sorry. I did not mean to keep you waiting. I know you wanted a personal, firsthand voucher for the arms. If you'd be so kind, Nana. And Eagle smiles at you, and it looks like he kind of like steps in a bit. The Lady Lord seems to go from looking at you to looking at Eagle.
Okay.
It's like she splits her focus between the two of you. As
Alright.
she stands stoically, tall and intimidating, with these arms of her own, these spider-like legs that now on this night
Mm.
are dipped with bronze and almost
Ooh.
look as if they are about to drip, but they do not. It is just as if, stingers full of venom, but
Ooh.
they shine beautifully.
Hmm.
And she looks to you and waits for you to proceed.
Okay. Giving them a respectful half bow, Nana will say, this was my first time making use of this invention. It was extremely intuitive to make use of. All things considered, it did not take me very long to incorporate it into my strategy. I will say, perhaps not ideal for someone of my height and build. However, with sufficient training and enough time to be able to accommodate for the added weight, I believe even I could probably make some excellent use of such an invention.
You see between sentences, when you kind of focus in, Egil is translating.
Ah.
And he seems to be okay at the language that he is translating for. There's the occasional kind of think. You can see where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick a word. And then
Mhm.
goes with it and just seems to be translating to the Lady Lord for you.
Okay.
And
Do I
he
recognize the
smiles.
language at all?
You can go ahead and roll intelligence for me.
Sure. Ooh, hot damn. I think that might be a 19. Is that a 19? Yeah, that's a 19.
Wow. You've heard this language before, murmured by some people, including Russ and his companions. It seems to be the language they all picked for their extracurricular. It's undercommon. You're pretty sure it's undercommon.
Okay. All right. That seems abundantly logical considering.
Eagle looks to you. Could you tell me, us, if you would have preferred in this situation to use something magical that did not hinder you in such a way, as magic can usually create things that do not require such weight if need be?
I would say that the challenge would be approximately equal. I do not have very much innate magic of my own. It would very likely be a similar matter of adjustment in order to make use of a magical implement. Perhaps not as great a strain physically as in terms of time, familiarity, and expertise.
Tan sort of clears her throat. Also, just to give my opinion on the matter, magic is much easier to tamper with. It is easy to dismantle. If someone were to dismiss the enchantment on the item, it would be rendered useless. But because it is self-sufficient, it needs no magic. You can't break it that way. It would be hard to break this device or trick it in some way or hinder it. It works while it is attached. And Eagle translates his question and both of your answers to the Lady Lord, who just stands there as if you were talking to maybe one of the scariest statues you have ever encountered.
Mm-hmm.
The energy from this woman is almost like you are standing before a god. And you're like, she's probably not a god. But the energy coming off of her, is putting out that energy. She is
in
filling
fairness,
the space.
Nana has been told repeatedly she is not a person imbued with spiritual senses,
Mhm.
clairvoyancy for the divine or anything like that. She wouldn't know. But by golly, this woman feels goddess-esque, if nothing else.
She kind of keeps her eyes trained on like you and Tan, and then like tilts her head to the side and speaks low and focuses in then on Eagle and speaks to him in Undercommon. And Eagle looks back to you. And thank you for your testimony. It is appreciated. Congratulations on your fight.
Very much.
Also, Miss Tan, how many of these do you think you could make? And if you could just figure out an estimate on that, just for a mental exercise. Yeah, I I think I could come up with a number. Thank you so much, Nana. I appreciate what you've done for me.
Absolutely. If you have need of me, you'll be able to find me.
And you are kind of like, it's like, thank you for your time. You may go. And
All right. Yep. Nana gives her polite little half bow to Tan, to Eagle, and to the Lady Lord, and departs back in the direction of her friends, trying not to sweat. Holy fuck.
well, there, friend. You're walking so quick in the way. General Talarin is in pursuit.
Oh,
Hey
all
there.
right. So sorry, I did not intend to leave in a hurry.
No. They're going to talk. That's fine. I just wanted to say hi. It has been some time.
Indeed it has. It's excellent to make your acquaintance again. Good to see you.
Of course. I've seen your friend around. Your sneaky
Which
one.
Oh, I see.
Blue, nosy.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where she's gone?
At the moment, I do not. I did not see her depart after my bout. If I had to guess, she's very probably with her husband.
Thanks. And she like kind of like pats you hard on the shoulder. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
A shame we're not able to go in the ring. And General Talarin is going to pick a direction. Ba-ba-ba-bam. All right. A 1 for food and drink, a 2 for dancing, and a 3 for lounge. And you see General Talarin begins to make their way towards dancing.
Cool.
Meanwhile, in dancing,
Oh boy!
Roshan has just finished describing the man that Alyona had pointed out, and she looks at you and then looks towards him, and he's currently like taking like a bow towards 2 women and seems to be having a conversation with them. Are you I'm sure you are capable. Are you able to see into my mind in some way. Do you have any of those abilities? Once you are there, I can focus you, but somebody else should see this.
I can, and Roshan will cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
I'm sure this room is full of thoughts. Hose over there.
I am. It is a place.
There might be a
full of
couple
thoughts.
thoughts. I don't know.
I mean, you know, it do be like that. This party has definitely had a certain energy to it, and boy howdy, thoughts and thoughts, you know? Whichever
Both at
one you
once.
came here for, you'll probably get both. Uh, you move into Aliona's kind of like surface thoughts, and you feel like no resistance, as if she is not going to fight if you push further into her mind.
Uh, Roshan will not tarry and will take the most direct path to what he thinks is what she wants out of respect. And, fear. It's not every day that you walk right into the mind of big scary lady wizard.
Yeah.
From centuries beyond.
You enter into this mind space, and you have never been clotheslined by somebody's mind before. As if something takes this part of your magic that had been trying to move deeper, grabs it now that you've moved far enough into the space, and is refocusing it forwards. As if she is using your own spell as sort of like a lens, and is like, here, look this way. Fully forces your eyes through hers, as you are taken more into a physical version of what she is thinking and seeing, what her eyes are receiving. And they scan across the people at the party, and like heat waves, like hot street, like moving magic. It's almost difficult to look into the space, how strong it feels. That it is not too bright. It is not. It is just overwhelming in and of itself. It is overstimulating in and of itself as you try to look at this man. And you can see the man you saw before. And you also see something of incredible size and strength, something that makes you feel as if the party is not real and you are an ant standing before the abyss. And also something that is so small and human and fits into the space. But the energy and the magic and the terror that radiates from this being, and you can now see it in all of its glory, and it kind of hurts to look at. It is painful to perceive. And after a second, Aliona just fully dismisses your spell and pushes you away, like pushes your magic from her mind.
Yeah, I'm imagining like Roshan gets into her brain and she grabs him by the scruff of the magical neck and is like, "Look here,"
Yeah.
and uh, and his eyes. I don't think he can shut them because he's both interested and not really in control here, and I think he takes it in and he probably breaks a sweat, but stands there coolly next to her. And
Mm-hmm.
when she's dismissed him, he'll say, "Have you ever seen anything like that before?"
I have. I have, in a sense. You are looking. You are perceiving a god. You are looking at Chernobog. You are looking at nothing. You are looking at. You're looking at the end. At a party. I don't know what to do.
Do you think you could introduce yourself without trying to tear each other apart?
There's no reason for us to squabble. I I have no other god to look to. He is my god now, and he stands before me. And I am just my knees feel weak. And he walks around like a normal man. And and Bellow, he never stood so close.
Um, what? So the vibe is grim. Um, does Roshan think it's a good idea to ask if she wants to go introduce herself or not? Is that not the vibe?
Um, I'll go off. I'll keep your insight check because we're still in the same like 2 seconds later. We're still there,
True.
babe. Um, but you are getting the sense that this is a woman torn. That the terror is that she is staring at the man who saved and destroyed her, but also in awe because a god is standing so close. She is a woman of knowledge and a woman of power. Why wouldn't she want to go talk to him? The only thing holding her back would be emotions.
Um, I think Roshan takes that in for just a couple of seconds and says in her mind, not out loud, uh, would you have him take you for a coward?
I need you to roll charisma. It is a high DC, and this is important for you. I'll let you do
Um,
persuasion. I'll let you do persuasion. I'll let you put a
with
modifier on that.
that's better. I rolled a 9 with persuasion is a 20.
Okay. Um,
That was so
you
close.
just you realize like in the pit of your stomach after you say it, you're like, I think I said a good thing, but also it's like I just went and poked the bear.
Mhm.
You're like, oh shit, this is like, high chance, high reward kind of situation. Like you're like, oh fuck, thingies crossed. Um, she
Yeah, his cold
glances
sweat
over at you.
continues as he stands there now frozen.
It's a good thing he's hidden by this fringe.
You
Yes.
Comes
can't
up a
see me
lot.
sweating the fringe. Um, and she looks at you and just a release and steps over the threshold. And you watch this man's focus snap straight to her. It's as if she did not exist until she walked through that archway. And
So
um,
I'm of
mhm.
like two very conflicting minds because there is some energy between the two, and Roshan, Josh wants Roshan to be there, but Roshan's like shitting his pants. Um,
Would you
I
have them
think
take you for a coward?
Yeah.
Roshan is a coward. uh, but I think he would, after a heartbeat, he couldn't resist meeting another one because why not? and he'll
Gotta meet him.
take a couple quick steps to catch up with her much taller form and walk in alongside her.
You are basically gone to her at this point. You're like, I'm here and I'm in it, but she is locked in on who she is referring to as Chernobog, the man that locked her away, the god that locked her away in that mirror and probably dislodged that tower and raised an attack against said tower, before coming out of it with a new ally many, many years later. And you see that when she starts walking forward, he begins walking and they meet in the center. He does not wait for her to approach, and they stand there. And you think she is standing as close as she can bear because you realize she's still seeing what she saw when you were looking through her eyes. But she does not lose focus and remains staring at him. And he smiles at her. A
Oh,
wide,
um,
white smile. Mm-hmm. Yes, babe.
can I, like, as she steps in, gosh, what's the most appropriate thing to say to her to give her inspiration? Um,
I mean, you could do it with what you said earlier if you would like, or if you want to figure out something else, you're welcome to.
yeah, I don't think he was ready until she stepped in, so I think he quickly follows in step with her and says something.
Go get him, Slugger.
Knock him dead,
Uh,
champ.
I think I believe in you.
Okay. And what is your bardic?
It's a
D8?
D8.
She's gonna roll to hold her nerve to see how much.
Hey,
See,
babes,
the
I
thing is,
got you.
yeah, Alyona is a terrifying being, but standing next to the god of death is she is small, and is going to try to present herself as best she can. And the heartbeats of the drum. And- okay. Alyona stands before God as an equal in this moment while she holds her nerve. And you're there, babe. You're in the thing. And Roshan is there, bitch. Like,
I
this.
imagine
Mhm.
him there on the sidelines for this like clash of personalities, and it's blowing his metaphorical hair back and all of the fringe. He's got to
Whoa.
hold on to his hat because there's a what's happening in front of him is intense.
Roshan involved, but more spectator, more taking in this event at this party. And he approaches and gives her a bow, looks at you and gives you sort of like an acknowledging nod as he smiles, and then turns his focus back to Alyona and speaks in a language you do not understand, but the words rumble the earth, and nobody else reacts to it, but you can feel the vibration of his voice. And he extends a hand out to Alyona, offering a dance. And she stares at this hand as if offered everything, offered untold riches and power and station, all in one hand, all in one offer to dance. And you can understand her because she just still has tongues going. So once again, here's another one-sided convo. Roshan's like, could you cast tongues on yourself too, friend? That'd be great. He smiles at her, and she transfixed on this hand. I saw Billow in person once, and we would dare not touch him. He would not have us touch him. And Chernobog looks to her. And once again motions for her to take his hand. She won't be asked a third time. And she takes his hand, and they begin to dance.
Roshan will
It
take
is.
the extra
Uh-huh.
glass from her.
Yeah, I got you, babe.
I got you.
She would have just been like, whoop, throw that shit. uh, for the first time, she holds the hand of a god, interacts with a god as if he were a man, and they dance. And the dance is different than to the dances people are doing here. There are some threads in common, but there is like a stark difference to the way these two dance through the hall, different to the people who are currently in it. And you get a glance of her face as she is led around the room. And you can see the light reflecting off tears that roll down her cheeks and the wide smile that grows across her face. And that's where we're going to take a break, boys. We're going to go take a break, go get a snack and a drink, and we'll see what everybody else is up to at this party. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 158 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took ourselves our 10-minute break. The party is partying. They are giving their honest reviews of weapons of war, and some people are convincing their powerful friends to sidle up to gods that are not accustomed to or maybe has never stepped upon this continent and has found reason to be here, at least for one night, maybe more. But as they dance, you can see this just raw emotion from a person that does not really exude open emotion in any way, especially in public. But actively tears fall as they dance and have a good time. Nix Russ, like a good man, finishes as many bread rolls as you keep giving him.
Keep slowly pushing a new one in as the last one's gone.
All right, we're starting to get to listen. I could probably eat so many bread rolls, but if somebody challenges me to another fight, we might have a problem if I
They're
keep
not
eating bread
allowed.
rolls.
Corrine said they're not allowed. So you can have as many bread rolls as you want.
Well, how about
She's got you there, man.
we let these settle, and then we can take a lap and come back, and I will eat as many bread rolls as you want.
All right. I'll take that last one with me as we're walking. For me.
Yeah. You're like,
This
all right,
one's
cool.
for me.
This one's
You
my bread roll.
Don't get to ask for any.
And you two are going to head towards dancing. Nana, Fen, and Kel, you are in some sort of vaguely liminal space together, or at least vaguely near each other. And you know the liminal space of the space we are in. A normal
Everything's
liminal space.
fine. I just had a very normal conversation with some very normal people. Oh, okay.
Are you talking to Eagle?
And also General Tellerin. Yes.
And
Went fine. The Lady Lord is extremely intimidating in person. I will leave it at that. That being said, nothing went badly. Base Tan just wanted me to using the arms and basics exactly why the lady would purchase those by Lord apparently.
back spider arms.
Beyond that, weapons of war. Various sorts of constructs, things that one can use as augmentations or weapons or tools during times of peace as well. Things to make farming easier and such is what I heard, I think.
Oh, well, that's a noble goal.
I know. So lovely, lovely during times of peace, and by golly, do they make a lot more money.
Hey, producer,
during
do we
times of
need to
war.
go to break real quick? I just can't.
Uh-oh.
Can I hear anybody?
I hope.
Oh, no. I'm good.
I'm
Okay.
good.
I think that was an issue on my end. I'm just like, I can't hear anybody. I can hear everybody now.
So long
For some reason, I was
as
just like-
everybody.
Okay. I was just like,
Did I?
wait, what
Was there
happened?
much lost? Do we know? And
Who knows?
I think you're fine.
So
Okay.
she makes tools of harvest during times of peace and weapons of war when required.
seems like yes, which is very pragmatic, if nothing else.
Well, if her tools of harvest are comparable to her weapons of war, Seems like there might be a good deal of otherwise helpless peasants facing down the threat of encroaching corruption who might benefit from such a thing. Maybe it would be a service that she could give to the continent to
Perhaps.
outfit those people, as opposed to maybe not just the highest bidder. Just a
Maybe
thought.
Maybe you
or-
should be talking to them, Finn.
I mean, well, no, honestly, Volder actually would be probably the most ideal person to speak with her on a matter of that level. At
Well-
least it's a direct connection, and then a direct connection from him to the Jarl, which
That's
I'm
a-
certain would be tantalizing to Tan.
That is an excellent approach. As far as I can tell, I'm not the best negotiator, but I can see a world for people who have, done nothing but harvest their crops, who might benefit from having the help of something that aided you apparently in a win. I'm not sure. Was it? It
I
didn't
would
seem as
say-
intuitive as.
It wasn't the worst. It was my very first time using it. Okay.
No, you
And
you
it was
won. You won. You
nothing
won
like
your
a-
duel.
No,
and
on
it-
top of which,
You fell down a lot.
beyond the fact that it's built very much heavier than I'm accustomed to wearing, just like on the top half of my person. It's not like I skip leg day, let's be honest, but I'm not built for that kind of. Gorbjorn could probably make
First time in your life you've
absolute-
been top heavy. That's for sure.
Oh, shut up. Anyway, the point is, I could see it being extremely useful for someone who is built to be able to bear that weight.
Someone who hews rye in the field, or someone who
Certainly,
fells trees.
certainly, or someone built like Gorbjorn, for goodness sake.
Not a bad thought. Maybe we should, when we have an opportunity, see if Roshan can help you reach out to Volder. That's something to explore. Just
I think so. Yeah.
giving people something to use to defend themselves. Uh,
Especially something that could, well, the only thing is not this specific tool. Maybe something else if you were fighting the corruption. You don't want to hold the corruption that close to you. This thing, when you engage it, it snaps closed. It's like a bear trap. And it holds the person there. It made him easy pickings, and it did hurt him anytime he tried to break free.
well, I'm wondering
so it
if
was
some of her
efficient, but
some of her other tools, if she does make things that automate the harvest or assist in the harvest, could those tools themselves be appropriated for that purpose, in the manner of a scythe or a sickle?
certainly. I would think that probably one could make a fairly modular, I suppose, model of something like it, something that could be a farm tool during peacetime, and should something attack the village, then something can be changed out and it is more efficient for dealing with the problem.
It's interesting. I've never seen someone put mechanics to work in such a way
Yeah.
as this. It's something to consider. I'm not the person to sell it for certain, but I don't think it's a terrible idea, and I think you've expressed a proof of concept that it could be used effectively.
There's something else I'm curious about. I don't know if Tan's going to keep it close to her chest, but I said she was interested in business at the party, like she was last year. She wasn't selling last year, she was buying.
What was she purchasing?
I don't want to speak about this too openly out here. It was something very unusual. I would hesitate to say I've ever heard of anything like it before in my life.
I've
So
never
now
heard
we
anything.
really want to know.
Well, I mean, let's get somewhere where we're not out and about in the smack dab middle of everybody else, and then
I'm sure we
maybe
could
I'll
talk
tell you.
about it later.
Well, let's
Maybe at the inn.
anyhow. Let's get some food, Nana, and
Oh,
we can go
please.
from there. She's
Right.
obviously been through quite the ordeal tonight and looking a bit
It's been
famished.
an emotional roller coaster, if nothing else. But you
Right.
know, that's sort of the whole party's deal. That's fine.
You won, and we
But-
never doubted you.
Thank you.
You all begin to make your way towards food and drink. And because of your positioning and where you're walking, you can see Calendula's fancy little bench set up, where he seems to be like leaning back and like now comfortably talking to the outfit. And each of them
The
has a drink,
outfit.
and
I
they're
love
just
that
kind of
guy.
going back and forth. And you see a flash of red and white, and Corrine has made her way over to Calendula's circle,
Ooh.
and big smile on her face, and she leans in, and you see this is the first time Calendula has stood up to greet someone,
Mhm.
and they meet in the circle, and they begin to talk like old friends. They seem to really enjoy each other's company. Maybe they're both putting it on, but they lean in, they kiss cheeks, they hold hands while they talk. They seem to be close, or at least present that way, depending on how you want to look at it. But Calendula, big smile on his face while he talks to her. The two of them seem to be having a good time as you make your way towards getting yourselves some sustenance.
Fen would probably hold back, having seen Korean, and it, having been a while. They give her space, but kind of stay in the peripheries and wait for her to finish her pleasantries, and then just check in when she was done.
I guess
She
Nana
sees
will linger
you.
there, too.
Sure. Keld, are you lingering, or are you going to get food?
Keld will head to the food.
Yeah.
He's
Two stop.
feeling it
Keld keeps
after his
going.
fight.
Yeah, he's like, I have to eat.
Actually, I
And
am starving.
You do have to take care of your blood sugar level, bud.
but two of you stand on the periphery, and Corrine takes notice of both of you, and does like the come hither motion. And it does not seem to be placed between the two of you. It seems to be placed towards Fen, but Nana, you can just interpret that how you'd like to.
Yeah, Fen would
Okay.
obviously snap right to.
I mean, Nana will go ahead on up. I mean, she's not positive it was an exclusionary get over here. And she's kind of, waiting to go get food with Fen, so.
She smiles, and Fen, as you come in, she kisses you on the cheek. Hey, Fen. Calendula, have you met? Yes, we have met before. We have had some interesting conversations together. A beautiful company you keep, Corrine. And he smiles and then sits back down and it refills his drink. Um, mm, Fen, I have.
Yes, my lady.
She smiles and kind of steps in close and sort of lowers her voice. She doesn't seem to care that you're there, Nana. It's not like she's like huddling Fen away from you to whisper. She's just kind of like leaning in close. You can hear them. She's just not talking to you about this. So
Okay.
I was wondering if you could help me with a little bit of a game of skill. I just don't think I
I-
have the skill for.
I'm sure you're very talented, but nonetheless, I'm happy to help however I can.
Thank you. It's so silly, but it's become a bit of a tradition, I guess. I was speaking with Otis before the party, and we wagered a little bet, just to keep, I suppose, keep thing interesting after yesterday's. Anyways, uh, I was wondering if you could assist me as a teammate in this challenge. Uh, I have placed a pearl in Otis's jacket pocket. I need you to be able to retrieve the pearl without him noticing, without anyone noticing. Do you think you can do that?
It would help to know what pocket, but I'm confident I can
Hmm.
make that happen.
I would think it's probably the lower ones. I think he's wearing a bit of a flourish at the top, so probably one of the side jacket pockets. Um, he is aware of this, which might make your job a bit more difficult, but he is busy. So if he catches you, no harm, no foul. But if he doesn't, point for us.
Understood. This seems possible, doable, fairly easy.
I agree.
I
I appreciate it.
don't fancy myself as any sort of a thief, but it seems like a fun game.
I agree. I'm just not. I'm great with a harp, not the best at going unnoticed, especially here. I think he'd notice if I tried to retrieve it myself.
I don't think you could go unnoticed if you wanted. I think you could
Hmm.
accomplish most things you set your mind to, but that not being one of them.
Right. Thank you, Fen. And by the end of the night, you're welcome to take your time, but once you retrieve the pearl, you are welcome to bring it to me, and we can go from there. I wish I could join you in this game and actually have a good bit of fun, but that's not in the cards for me tonight.
That's understood. Hopefully we can have some time to celebrate our victory with a dance or something of the like.
Win or lose, we'll celebrate with a dance.
Well, we don't lose.
We don't lose. And she kind of like extends a hand to be kissed and just kind of like smiles at you.
Fen will gladly take her hand and kiss it.
Nana, congratulations on your fight. It's good to see somebody else in the ring who is not actively dying.
Wasn't she phenomenal?
She was against
Thank you.
adversity, and honestly, I'm impressed. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was not an easy fight, but it was an excellent challenge. I'm grateful
course.
for the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, enjoy the party. Have fun with your game. Hit me up when you know how it ends. Callan, it is always a pleasure. I hope the seating arrangement works for you this year. And he raises a glass in her direction. Wonderful. Enjoy the party. Have fun. This party needs more games, anyways. And she kind of gives like a quick nod and then makes her way off to continue her host jobbing. Calendula just kind of like glances at the two of you and then kind of like looks forward and like sips from their wine. Like, all right. The social lubricant is gone. I'll be over here.
Fen's gonna side eye him and then take Nana to go get some food like we talked about.
Nana
Mhm.
will give Calendula a respectful, half bow, half nod. Your advice was very useful. I appreciate it.
Of course, congratulations on your comeback. Impressive, even though you were carrying the world on your back, as it were.
I never thought like that before, but it's a good to try new things, I think. Keeps you flexible.
I agree. I agree. Go eat. Have fun.
Thank you. Enjoy the party.
You can see that Torment is currently no longer in this circle. You actually haven't
That's
seen
what I
Torment.
was kind of wondering, like in the back
Is
of my
Torment
head.
just,
Is
like,
Torment been
vibing
here
the-
the whole time?
Is he here? He was there through the combat and
Okay.
left shortly after, you would assume, based on your
Okay.
timing. But the three of you convene to get food. Keld already has a stack to enjoy all the variety of meal. Is there anything else between you guys besides getting some good food and then maybe a bit of a game?
So Roshan's in the dancing area, so we can't see him from where we are, right?
Yeah, Roshan's in the dancing area. You probably also can't see Nyx either, who is now in the dancing area.
All right. No, I think we should find Roshan when we have had our fill.
I don't.
Unless there's anything else you think needs to be done. This should be easy enough. It just could be easier another way.
No, I believe that finding Roshan will be the most direct thing. At the very least, let him know that we're interested in some time considering some weighty problems later, probably at the inn.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get some snacks.
Yeah. Oh
bit
God,
of,
I'm
bit of nosh.
famished. Yeah, I definitely need some. I need something to drink as well. My mouth is absolutely awful right now. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I was speaking with the Lady Lord like that, but what can you do? I was just fighting. I hope that's forgivable.
think it
You
was that
all
candy.
get food and drink. Could be the candy. Sadly, no more poisons to consume at this time.
Oh no!
Hey Mac,
Curses.
before I go away, this is actually a question probably for Mac and Katie.
Okay.
Katie, Nyx handed Nana that candy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anywho, moving along. Meanwhile, in the dancing area, Russ and Nyx arrive, and like Russ kind of like leans in next to you. Is Angel just sort of watching those people dance? Like he's sort of just like it just I feel like we walked in on something weird. Like we came in on the tail end of something, or he's just gone. I'm not sure which.
Maybe he's sad because no one's asked him to dance too?
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
they're just really impressive, and that's what he wants. Should we ask him? One of us should ask him to dance, maybe,
Both
to
of
fix
you.
it? Or both of
Do you
us?
think? I mean, I would like to dance with you, so if we're going to ask Roshan, it should be a we're going to ask, but also
I don't know how all three of us will dance, but we can figure it out,
I
right?
have not figured that out yet. Or we could just like nudge him towards somebody and be like, you know.
We could that one, yeah.
Okay. So should we go like talk to him, or should we dance and then maybe like nudge him into someone, you know, casually?
Like a subtle bump as we're like turning, maybe.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like he crashes. I like it. Okay, yes, that one.
This sounds like exactly my kind of jape.
Roshan, I think it is sort of hard to look away from something so beautiful and terrible. And you don't know if it's just burned into your mind's eye, but you swear sometimes that like visage breaks through, that being of astronomical size. But you're not positive if, you know, it's just your eyes playing tricks on you if where you're actually seeing it now. You're not sure.
That's cool. We love
but
that.
we do. So I'm going to need opposed athletics checks from Roshan and Nyx.
Great.
Oof. Well, bad.
14.
6.
Okay. Roshan, there's a moment where you are watching something once again beautiful and terrible, and then you are hit bumped by your companion. And Nix, what did you get again?
14.
Okay. And Roshan, you sort of end up in some very well-dressed woman's space as she
Ooh.
was walking across the dance floor, and you sort of stumble in front of her, and she's like, "Sure, yeah, I guess." Like, she thinks you stepped in front of her to ask to dance.
Roshan is ever polite and will say, "Excuse me," and then put a hand out to dance, and then as there's a spin and the fringe parts, he's gonna stare daggers at Nyx.
You're welcome.
But at the same time, he'll talk in her head and say, "Any clue when we're meeting Russ's boss?" As he
Oh,
twirls about with this lady.
tomorrow, not today anymore. Yeah.
Is there anyone I could talk to, just to get some words up the chain?
I can ask him if he thinks we could talk to his handler. We'd have to find her. I'll ask him. Redirects that out loud. Roshan wants to know if he can talk to your handler because he has something to tell her, I guess. Because your boss isn't here.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I mean, she does love an appointment, but you don't have to book an appointment with everyone. You could just go up and talk to them if you want to.
That's true. I'll wait until I'm able to talk in his head again to tell him.
I think Roshan will let the song end. Like that's only polite to not dance for 20 seconds of a song with your partner and then split off. So he'll be polite and bow at the end and look across the dance floor at Nyx with some raised eyebrows, like, yes.
Wave him over.
Roshan will walk further into the dance floor and to go chat with them.
Yeah. He joined the dance now.
As you go over and join this already dancing couple who just sort of like dances in your space, Nyx, you have a stupid high passive perception, right? It's like 19 or 20 or something.
Yeah, it's 20.
Yeah. You see Alyona dancing with some guy, and that her cheeks are like tear streaked, and they are just floating basically around this thing. Just an energy from the two of them as they move by.
She must really like dancing. All right.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, you can talk to
the
her.
handler?
We have to find her, but you can talk to her.
Was she the one you talked with after the fight?
Yeah, that one.
You two dance. Russ, can you point me in her direction?
He like kind of maneuvers them a little bit across the dance floor to get like a better view out. He'll do it with advantage because you're helping Nyx.
Yeah.
This guy is pretty okay perception. What do we got going on? I think that's the same number. He leans out. Oh, it looks like she set up on a bench near the lounge.
Roshan will give him a curt nod. See the look in his eye, which is probably still
Oh yeah.
a little pinprick eyes, and like give him a not an angry look, but a concerned and unimpressed look, and then he'll walk out of the dance floor and head to the handler.
All right. Oh no, his insight's really good. Yeah, he picked up on all that. Seeing if any of it registered at all.
Oh,
Yeah, he's an
no.
insightful guy. And he focuses back on you, Nyx, and smiles. And you felt the whole time during this fight that like occasionally his hand like twitches and he like grips tighter. Like it's just the muscles moving of their own accord. But he seems to be, the man can stand in the center of the party and not, be too much of a problem. But people close by could probably tell. And he picks up dancing again. Angel has given me a stern look.
What kind? Like he's mad kind, or like was he mad he had to walk so far?
Probably. That's probably what it was. Maybe he's upset that I didn't escort him and make an introduction like, like maybe you should do it at a party, but he's fine.
I feel like he's the best of us to be able to do that on his own, though. So that,
He's got it. I'm not
I
worried.
think so. I'll ask him why he was mad later.
Yeah. I'm anyways. And is going to focus on trying to dance. It'd be cruel not to make him roll for this. With disadvantage. Ooh, I don't even know if he needs the disadvantage.
Oh no.
The thing is, this is a trained skill. He learned how to dance, so he knows what to do, but like he seems like a bit off of his game and then eventually sort of slows the dancing to more kind of step and sway instead of like the more intricate dancing. And you can see you haven't known him long, but you know him. You feel like you know him intimately. You can see that there's some conflict in there, that there is something he is thinking about, and it's harder for him to hide that.
She'll let him have a moment to think about it. Especially because we're in the middle of all these people. And eventually, because if they're just swaying for a while, she'll eventually reach up and try to focus his attention. What are you thinking about? Is it your boss? Or
I mean, that is something I've been thinking about, but I'm sure they're fine. If there was something to worry about, she would have told me.
So what is worrying you? There's something.
I know I'm not I'm not one to talk. I'm not someone who should even have the right to ask, I think, in this moment. Can I ask you to promise me something? And if you can't promise it, could you at least take it into consideration?
I can do that. Yeah.
And he kind of leans in close and talks softly. I hate that you're not having a good time, and I want you to have a good time, and there's only certain people who come here and enjoy it to the fullest. And I don't think I could handle if this party changed you. If 3 days at this party changed you. I brought you here. And I can see it. And people come here to rise up to the level of the people around them, or they sink into the muck to be with them. And it is a great gift to be able to remain stagnant in this den. Don't let them change you. I can't. If I'm responsible for that, I don't know. Just, it's 3 days. And we don't even have to go tomorrow if you don't want.
We'll go. I can promise that. That's not that hard.
Okay.
I can't promise I'm not going to fight the lizard for you, though.
Nix, you can't fight the lizard. Nix, that lizard eats people. We don't
But-
want to pick fights with the people that eat people.
But that's why I have to. He tried to eat you. In front of everyone.
It was a fight to unconsciousness. If he had eaten me, there would have probably been a problem.
I agree. But that doesn't mean he wasn't going to try. And he did. And I'm going to make sure he doesn't again.
Nix, I don't think I can watch you physically do that.
I'll think about it.
I would love you to really, truly think about it. I can't stop you. All I can do is step in and then look silly when you say no.
All right, I'll make you a deal.
I
won't do it as long as they don't pull what they did today. I'll bring my stuff with and hopefully not need it.
All right. If one of them approaches me, if anyone from that gaggle approaches me after 6 other people challenge me to combat, I will allow you to step in as my second.
All right. It's a
Do
deal.
the parameters of the deal suit you?
Mm-hmm. They do.
All right.
We
Understood.
should get this in writing.
I'm sure that is a good idea. When we get home, we can fill it out. We'll all sign a
Mhm.
piece of paper. We'll have a witness, the whole
Yeah.
shebang.
I think Keld will hold us to it, so we should get him to be there.
I can
Paladins,
witness.
they officiate stuff.
I have to
They
be
got some
honest.
things and things.
If a couple more of those had happened, I probably was gonna take Keld up on his offer. I don't know if I could have done I probably could do one more. I don't think I could do two more.
I don't think it was good. No more. No.
No. But I feel like nobody's been looking at me sideways, so maybe fingers crossed.
I'm not saying it's not impressive. It was. It's just not great to watch from my
Yeah.
side.
And I would prefer not to watch you in a situation like that either. So if we can, let's try to avoid fighting.
Okay. But I'll be prepared.
Work for you? Okay, you can bring your things.
Because you see,
I won't-
I don't think he could win at all. Not even a slight chance.
I believe you.
Mm.
You're smart. I think you'd give him a good run for his fucking money.
For his teeth, actually. Yeah.
What?
Well, you could do the trophy. I could take a tooth and then he can't
Nix,
fight.
you're not fighting him for trophy.
But I could.
Nix, I would have to kill him. I would have to find him outside the party and kill him if he took anything from you.
But he won't.
Because we're not fighting, because 6 people are not going to come fight me and then one of them.
Right.
So that's that. Good.
Is
Okay.
Aliona still crying near us? Because I'm waiting to see if she stops dancing, because I got to introduce them.
You
This
do
is that
see that
cool lady.
eventually the song comes to an end and he bows deeply to her. And then he's lost in the crowd.
It's our turn then. I'm going to take him over there to introduce them. Because she's cool. We fought with her. Just grabbing him. Come on.
Right, sure. And you take him over to meet Aliona, now probably one of the more powerful people in the room. Now back
Yes.
at status. But you go to introduce him to a very powerful wizard, and Roshan makes his way across the courtyard to a blonde woman who is sitting on a bench, leg crossed over the other, hair in a low, loose ponytail, kind of like a robe-esque outfit, creams and golds and platinums, kind of in the same vein as Russ's stuff. And she looks at you as you approach.
In her mind, Roshan will say, I'm a friend of Russ. Do you have a moment?
She motions in front of her for you to like you may step in and communicate.
Roshan will say, my name is Roshan. It's nice to meet you. I'll keep this short. It seems Jin Lee has offered a large sum of money to multiple party goers to challenge your golden boy, and he fights brilliantly, but he looks close to his breaking point now. I doubt that any of them would confess to it, but one of them did confess to me and said that you wouldn't do it again. Didn't say who, but Jin Lee did threaten Russ's wife last night. Seems she wanted something that Nix was unwilling to give, and told her it would be a shame to watch her husband fight over and over and over again. And it seems she didn't get what she wanted and made good on her threat.
Uh, was that out loud or mental?
Mental, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, just double checking. Um, she looks at you and watches you talk. You also have just like a pretty high passive perception and insight, isn't that correct?
Yeah, 18 perception, 23 insight.
Yeah. Um, while you are communicating with her, her body occasionally like makes like a little jerk, like a quick like movement of the shoulders, just like a couple small jerks, just almost like boom boom, just like gentle taps of a drum, but occasionally the body twitches and moves. No sound is made from it, but the body moves occasionally, kind of in this fashion. And she looks up at you, and you hear a voice respond in kind in your mind. Thank you for giving me this information, Roshan. That's very helpful. I will do my best to keep Russ safe, and hopefully there is something that can be done about it.
I think she sees Roshan grow more relaxed. He's been stressed all evening, and this is the first person who's said, "Thank you. I'll try helping protect you." And so he just relaxes with a sigh and says, mentally, "Thank you. Um, I look forward to meeting with your boss. It sounds like tomorrow."
Tomorrow it is. I'm sure I'm sure things will I'm sure things will work out. He has already offered assistance, and I'm sure you will receive it.
Um, Roshan will just nod in thanks, and then I think he'll make his way away. Doesn't want to linger.
Okay, I'm going to roll something real quick. Um, you said your passive is an 18 or a 19?
18.
Okay. Nothing to be picked up innately, inherently. But she gives you a nod, and has no intent to keep you.
Well, I hope that's all good. I think Roshan will now that the rest of the evening there's not as much stress, he hopes. I think he'll take a nice lap of the outside and maybe try to steal a word with Egil before the end of the evening.
Okay.
If I can catch Roshan, if I observe him, I would intercept. Even if that's just catching his line of sight.
So he's walking the grounds. You guys were about to head, I think, towards dancing. So it's possible that you guys would cross paths. Sure.
All right. If he looked like he was walking with purpose, Fen would just kind of like tap his head and hope Roshan got the message.
Yeah, Roshan will send a message over. Did you have something?
I was actually going to ask a favor. You know the guy who was talking with the eagle, Otis, not very good looking, kind of a loser. Got a thing. Apparently, he's carrying a pearl in his pocket. I need to know which pocket it's in. Is that something you can ascertain with a subtlety? It's for a game.
This game is making me uncomfortable.
Just get the pearl out of his pocket. It's a normal game.
You don't have to get the pearl. It's just a thing that they're Korean's pearls. They're probably magical. It's probably just one. If you could tell which pocket has a magical pearl in it, it would be helpful.
Yeah. If I see him, I'll keep an eye out, and yeah, I'll try.
All right. I appreciate the help. Just hit me in the old brain box if you happen to figure out that information.
Yep. I think
Appreciate it.
Roshan is kind of exasperated after the stressful party, and then let's play a game. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. That sounds like the worst of
Are
my
you not
problems.
having fun, Roshan? Are we not having fun?
I'm having a great time.
And speaking of Roshan having a great time, gosh, you hoped and you prayed. You see Otis. You were like, damn, and we're hoping that maybe you didn't stumble across him, but by golly, he's right there.
Check out
No.
those pockets.
What's it got in its pockets, precious?
Wait, did Roshan see?
Yeah,
Otis?
Roshan sees
Okay.
Otis.
I think Roshan will keep on walking until he's kind of out of line of sight before casting
Mm.
detect magic, and then giving him about a 30-foot berth before trying to ascertain where the pearl is, if it is magical.
Declared cool. Give me deception.
Yeah. Totally cool 18.
Let's roll for Otis.
Let's roll low.
Hey, stop it. Don't say that. Don't talk. Stop speaking to my dice. Don't talk to them. Nobody talk to them. Everybody go away.
We're talking to pre-stream
Um,
dice right now.
I'm switching out. That dice made Alyona too powerful, and now it's done.
Uh-oh.
Roshan, you pick up a bit of magic on Otis's person. 3 sources, and you think all of them pearls. His cufflinks, which you see are pearls, seem to have a faint glow to them. And a pearl in his right jacket pocket. The jacket pockets are kind of like right to like the sides, almost like above the hips. They're not like more front facing or in the back. They're just like right at the sides. But you sense that it's in the right jacket pocket.
Roshan will make a beeline away while dropping concentration, and send a message toward Fen. There's probably a pearl in his right pocket, and I would say it's probably bonus points if you also get the cufflinks.
Understood. I'll come up with an alternate plan for that as well. Thank you. I appreciate it, Roshan.
Good luck. And Roshan will give you bardic inspiration while he's walking away.
All right. That means we're on a time limit if we want that bardic.
So
10 minutes?
Fenn's gonna sit down someplace inconspicuous, and try to keep his eyes subtly on fuckface Otis. And he's going to reach into his pocket and he's going to pull out a small bird. And he's going to try something that he hasn't tried yet. And he's going to attempt to cast Speak to Animals, like Nyx tried to teach him how to do, but he didn't know how to do. And he's going to give Jenny a piece of prosciutto that he took off of the hors d'oeuvre plate and say, Jenny, can you hear me?
And she's pecking at this prosciutto and stops and then looks at you and kind of squints a little.
I think you can hear me. I hope you can. I've wanted to talk to you for a long time.
Hi, this is great. Hey, and also this is great. Thank you for the snack. And like kind of goes back to eating. Like, I'm glad we can talk so I can say thank you for snack.
I've got lots more snacks. I've always had snacks. I've never denied you snacks.
That's very true. You haven't.
I would like your help if you can manage it, though.
Hmm. And she kind of like hops a little bit. What do I have to do?
You see that gentleman over there? And Sven will kind of nod towards Otis and kind of describe what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
do you know right from left?
No.
Is Otis carrying a drink or anything in one of his hands?
Roll me a luck check.
10.
Yeah, he's holding a drink in his left hand.
You see the cup that he's holding in his hand? The other side,
Uh-huh.
the nest on his side. You know how you stay in my nest here in pocket nest?
Yes.
The other
nest.
side of his body.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Inside there's one of these, and Fen will point to the pearl of power on his gorget. I'm going to walk up and give the man a bow. While I'm doing
Uh-huh.
that, if you could sneak into his nest and take that pearl, then fly off with it, and then come find me some other time. Just when I bow to him, just if you can do it without him seeing, amazing. And then just bring that to me. And then plenty
Huh.
more salted beef or salted meats.
I want
Toward
snacks. I do like treats.
Will
I've
she do
never
it for a
done
Jenny
this
snack?
before. Um, uh, I'm gonna practice because we practice all the time. We're really good at that.
we are
And
good at practicing. Fen will take a little bit of the one of the hors d'oeuvres that he's got and slip it into one of his pockets. All right, see if you can get in there, get it without me seeing, and if you do, it's yours. If not, then we'll have to try again.
so Jenny will be adding 2 to this roll because she is a little bird.
She a weedle bird.
Um, all right, here you go, Jenny. It's like there wasn't a bird rifling around actively in your pocket. Um, truly a feat. Truly a feat. And maybe she's used to your pockets. Um, but you do see that, like, as she gets out of the pocket, which she seems to expertly be able to get in, she does have to like flit to get away. That's the moment you notice her, is the flitting.
You did a very good job.
I
I
know.
think you can do this. And
Mhm.
again, plenty more salted cured meat products if you are able to.
Yeah.
So you see the man that we talked about. You know which nest the pearl is in. And the pearl, again, looks
Yes.
like this, like this, like
Uh-huh.
this. Uh,
Yeah.
so if you fly up over onto the tree and
Okay.
wait until I give a bow. You remember what a bow looks like? Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
knew what that was before you showed me. Yeah.
okay. When I do that, you fly in, grab a pearl, and fly off back up to the tree. And uh,
Okay.
if you have any problems whatsoever, by all means, go ahead, drop the pearl, just get yourself out of the way. Um, no need to put yourself in any sort of danger over this. Uh, just want to see if it's something that you and I can do together, because we've we've traveled for so long. It's wonderful to finally be able to talk to you. I've got so much to talk to you about.
Well, I got it. Let's go. I'm going to prove myself and be very good at this.
So Fen will approach uh, Otis, and he'll wait until, if you can see Jenny in his peripheries, kind of off into the distance. He doesn't have much to say, but he is going to catch Otis's eye, and he's going to genuflect and give him the Briarheart bow.
He looks at you and smiles, what looks to be a genuine smile. Fen, it's nice to meet you. And acknowledges, and also does a bow and bump, bump, ba-dum, bump, 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 ba-da-da, 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 boo-doop. I'm giving her advantage because you're helping her. And you can tell that he's vaguely on alert. Like, now that you've approached him, he's like, he's in on the game. So it's not weird that he's on alert. And he smiles at you.
Uh, Fenn's is very deliberately keeping his distance, though. Like, he wants
Mm-hmm.
his hands clean. Like we're talking like
I
4
see you
paces
in.
back.
Yeah.
Did you see my friend Nana fight?
I did. It was quite the show, and I'm sure Tan is very excited to show off a fancy contraption.
It, I've never seen a contraption quite like that. It's not in line with the sort of fighting that Nana does. Is that
Mm,
the sort of thing that Tan brings to these sort of engagements?
I think this is the first time that I've seen her do any sort of combat-centric things, but it makes sense after the threats last year.
The threats. Oh, those threats. I thought that
Yeah.
was resolved now. Hopefully it's resolved.
It's resolved now, but I assume she would come prepared.
Uh, I'm Yeah, it seems like an interesting device. What what is it that you do here in town that allows such extravagant balls?
Oh, well,
I'm sorry if it's
Corrine
rude
and
my
I.
asking.
Oh, not rude at all. Um, Corrine has taken a shine to you, and that must mean you are a fine and interesting person. Uh, Well, Corrine and I both work in trade, in goods, and when you do a job well and diligently, you certainly profit from hard work. And you can see that like Jenny wasn't on the branch and now is on the branch again.
Finn's gonna just keep up the conversation for the sake of appearances.
And just kind of go through pleasantries and
Yeah, just try and talk about what sort of trade they do, and
yeah,
Vandalay Industries, import export, latex products,
yeah,
whatever. But
a very boring conversation while Fen kind of like tries to get it to a natural conclusion.
yeah,
Um,
Finn is like, as soon as he sees Jenny up on the branch again, he's like going out of his way to try to make it boring.
mm,
So like this doesn't have to continue longer than it already is.
Otis
it-
hits his thighs. Well, I better make the rounds. It was truly great to get to talk to you. I'm
Uh,
sure we'll see each other around.
It was a thing to talk to you as well. That's a gesture we have as well. For I have to go in Briarheart, where I come from.
How
Understood.
interesting.
Uh,
Right.
I'm sure we'll see you again soon. Uh,
I'm
have a good
sure.
evening.
You as well, Finn. And he begins to make his rounds as well. It seems he's doing a bit of the hosting like Corrine is. And you see Jenny up in the tree and just like, you guess the glint of something in her beak, triumphant with a nat 20. She comes out triumphant.
Okay, Ginny.
That's my feathery little girl.
um, is in the tree, shows off a bit, and then eventually will like
Ginny.
make her way over
You
to
did
you
it.
once you kind of get to a position and like and goes to your pocket and places it there.
Fen just holds his arm out, like this for Jenny to hop on, and with a smile on his face, he's giving her more cured salted meats as promised. Uh, Very good job. I had all the faith in the world in you, and you performed phenomenally. Let's go drop this thing off before it gets too much hotter, and then we'll go back and get more snacks.
I'm in. And kind of boofs up a little bit. How long does Speak with Animals last? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Yeah. And as you make your way over, you did just have a long, boring conversation, and you can feel the magic fade as you make your way over and find Corrine, who smiles at you.
Uh, I'm gonna. I've got Jenny on my forearm. I'm gonna give her a little boop on the beak, and shuffle her off so she can get back into her little nest in my pocket, and then he'll reach into his other pocket and pull out the pearl and present it to her.
Well, amazing. Do you think he noticed?
If he did, he didn't say anything.
I will present the pearl to him later and we'll see, but I think he would come over and gloat a bit if he noticed, so I think we did it.
I I have to believe that we did. I had a bit of help, but I'll go ahead and keep all the credit for myself.
I think that's perfectly fine, and because you are taking the credit, you should take the reward. Would you like to dance?
I would love to. Can I meet you in 5 minutes?
I'll see if I can wait that long. And she is going to make her way to the dance floor.
Fenn's gonna get Jenny some snacks first because he's
Yeah.
not gonna go back on his promise to her.
I give her what is owed, and after such, you are welcome to go dance with Corrine.
You gotta
I've
pay the poil pincher.
Yeah. Somehow this bird who has nowhere near the modifier that you do is now the greatest sleuth of our time, the greatest pickpocket. Boy howdy, was I expecting not any of this.
Well,
Anywho,
I love her so
I was
dearly,
Dungeons and
and I
expecting
Dragons, ladies and gents.
I was that's not what I was expecting, but Jenny, a hero, a champion, MVP. Uh, I believe, one second. Roshan, as you are making the rounds, um, you are approached by a familiar figure who seems to have found time to step away from um, their looming and imposing date. And Egil has found his way over to you and does a bow and a smile.
Roshan will bow and return the smile, um, and reach out for a hand, and then um, I think without breaking this party going character, like upbeat, jovial, Roshan's going to say, "You were absolutely right, and I am sorry for coming."
I'm sorry you're having a bad time. This place is I'm sure there are some beautiful words, some colorful language I could use to describe it, but not in such polite company.
Let's find time to share words. I'm not sure when, but um, after the party is done sometime.
I think that's doable. I think my work will not be done once this party has found its conclusion and I will be in town for a bit longer. But while we both are lost in this, what feels like unending torment, would you be willing to brighten it with a dance?
Absolutely. Um, and as they're talking, Roshan's garment sympathetically glows the same red as Egil's uh, lava
Mm.
motif.
And you can see that it does glow brighter this night, that it's almost like you can almost feel the heat coming from the mask when you lean in close as he gets in position to dance. Do you know how to do this hoity-toity shit, or are we just having a good time?
Pretty decent at faking it.
Mm, that's certainly what I love to hear from my dance partners. And is going to dance with you. Um, and for this moment, for this time period while the two of you are dancing, you watch that tension leave his shoulders that maybe you didn't even recognize at first, but seeing the absence of it, it is stark. This is a moment of reprieve in this party where it seems he is also having a terrible time, as he said he would. Self-fulfilling prophecy, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's much the same for Roshan. He tried for a while to put a couple drinks in and still found himself worried about everything with a couple drinks, but when he's concentrating on dancing with Egil, he can finally let that all go for a couple minutes.
Mm. we have reached that time of night where I'd like to know if there's something somebody wanted to accomplish this night. If there's something else somebody wanted to do as the night progresses with drink and a lot of dancing and some people doing a bit of a victory dance, which just looks like very hoity-toity dancing. Uh, but is there anything anybody else wanted to accomplish this night?
The only thing that Nana really wants to do is just kind of be on the lookout for opportunities to like glean anything useful about the other potential dual candidates. If she can like suss out any other details about any of their other proclivities, ways that they hold themselves, anything that might be indicative of stuff useful for dueling any of them, in the same vein as like kind of eyeballing them the other day. It's basically it.
I don't think there is more that can be gleaned from viewing them. It would have to be like trying to get people to talk about them or talking to them. It would have to be like, hey, do you know about that guy?
Got you. Cool.
That's what it would be.
Got it.
But at this time, Nana might be free from any duels. She has no reason, unless she is on the hunt for status, to challenge anyone.
Not super duper, but she's not she is not blind to the fact that somebody could challenge her. And she'd like to be prepared at least for the quantities that she's already got some known factors for.
Yeah, I mean, you have what you have, unless you want to like start like sleuthing, deep diving, like trying to get verbal information about people, which means you would have, it would not be the sneakiest of tactics. People
No.
would know. Somebody would
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah. Gossip is not really what she's aiming to use at the moment. So
Yeah.
if there's nothing else to be gleaned, then probably she's just maybe having a little bit of drugs and having a dance and having a good time with her friends, such as she's able. That's it.
Okay. Anybody else? Is there something they wanted to accomplish this night?
Just Fen wants to time his walkout so that it lines up with Roshan's, and he wants to say thank you to Roshan for the assist in our little mini heist, which will never come back to bite us like every other heist we've ever done has done.
This is the most efficient heist you guys have ever done, and you guys should have brought Jenny the whole time.
Obviously.
That's the issue. Jenny wasn't at
Yeah.
these heists.
Guys, we didn't
Jenny's
let her
the
flex her
master.
abilities. She's the real mastermind here. God, we've been so blind.
But you offer Roshan thanks for their assist in this successful heist. And I'm sure Roshan responds with, you're welcome, and a thumbs up.
Yeah, I think since there's no elk, Roshan is going to walk home with them tonight. He's not going to
so you
stay
guys
around
are-
to find if spooky carriage follows him home
Yeah,
or not.
you're not going to take the chance a second time. Is there anything
No.
else from anybody before you all glom together and make your way out?
Not unless the general succeeds in hunting me down.
I guess.
'Cause she
Um,
was looking.
That's true, and boy howdy, honestly, you're not too hard to find. So I think we can
Really not.
put
And I mean,
that
like, you're next to
together
one of
real
the
fast.
tallest people in the party.
You're next to the man with the reddest hair at this party.
That also.
Yeah.
And also you're blue and have
It's a
very
statement.
stark features.
Mhm.
Stark ice features.
We're not hiding.
As you have had your conversation of introducing Russ to Alyona, who puts it back together for now interacting with not gods. And both of them are like pleasantries, like nice to meet you, and like shake hands and act normal.
Yeah. Probably
but
shared the whole
one
story of fighting with her. It's like, this is
yeah.
why I know her.
And Russ listens intently and is like, oh, like, wow. And you talk of how you were fighting these terrible monsters of corruption and corpses and rot, these humongous corpses that came from these pits, and how you felled one of them, but one of them from a different pit made it to the city. And when you arrived, beaten and bloodied, but knowing you still had to fight, Alyona was also there. And the three of you cleaned up shop together. And Alyona thanked you after this because she fully believed that she could have won. That was not a doubt in her mind because she was flying and keeping a distance. The issue would have been she would have had to kite this thing around the city, and many more people would have died.
Yeah.
So assisting Alyona saved many lives that day. And Russ listens intently and is like, says the oohs and ahs when necessary, and correctly so. Eventually Alyona sort of excuses herself and like
Yeah.
kind of quickly leaves the dancing arena to get some fresh air and to ponder existence, probably.
Fair.
And that's when you hear, hey there, friend, it has been some time.
I have another one to introduce you. Okay, Russ, this is who we were supposed to gamble with. You never showed this General Tallard. She never showed up, right?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I did not come to party at your little tavern and have a fun game of dice and monies. Russ looks to her. That is a pleasure to meet you. And they do a very strong-looking handshake. Right. Well, you have a lot of fun and interesting friends. Not shocking, honestly. Yeah, she's a friendly sort.
We made it. I can introduce. There's a gnomish man. There's a doctor who's been sitting in the bar area a lot, and I could introduce you to him too. But
Honestly, I
don't know
think
a
I'm
lot
good
about him.
without talking to little gnomish doctors, unless maybe I am sick. If I am sick, I will consider, and and then I will circle back around, ask for doctor. We go talk to him.
That's the other doctors. This one, I think he's like an intelligent type. It's different.
Well, that doesn't
like a
sound
lot of
as
math
useful
and
to
things.
me. That's okay. I just wanted to say hi to my friend, somebody nice from upstairs, if you will.
Yeah. I was supposed to find you guys, see your outfits. Looking over the outfit. Is everyone matching like last time? Or are you separate from everyone else with your outfit?
They dressed me up a little bit with the bells and the whistles. But, some of these awards I think are made up because I don't remember getting them. I'm not sure what half of them are. I'm sure I did it. I just don't know what it is.
Okay. There's a lot.
Yeah. How have you been? Have you been being sneaky? Have you been spying on the pet?
Oh, no. I guess I stopped because the last time he was actively getting undressed. And it's just kind of been awkward since then. And I'm not even supposed to say his name. So
I see. I was honestly making jokes at one point where I'm like, probably not appropriate, but the sex worker jokes about him and whatnot. And now you're kind of just sort of amplifying my opinion of it, that he's just sort of like hired to be sexy and stand next to her.
That could be it.
That could be it.
Because it's not like he has to be there to translate, because you could do that. So
I could. But, I guess the lady likes to see him work.
It could be fun.
It is fun watching him butcher our language. Yeah, it's really fun for me, honestly.
I was going to ask you that, Russ, if you'd help me learn their language so that I could visit.
You see Russ is sort of like kind of like backed up a bit from this conversation. Sure. If you were interested in learning that language, I'm sure I could do my best to give you
Fantastic.
at least some words so you could be polite. That would be wonderful. You approach me, you say, "How do you do?" real fancy, and I'm wooed.
I like it.
I enjoy it. Honestly, you're pretty fun. Everyone else here is
Yeah.
grating.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm,
Hasn't been my favorite.
There's this has not been my favorite time either. I've not been enjoying this moment in my life. There are some things I'm good at, and there are some things I'm used to. And I have to say, up here, you guys do not have a lot going for you that I find interesting or enjoyable.
Hmm.
Except there's one thing. There's one thing that is hard to top.
Which one's that?
Close up magic.
Mm.
And birds fly out of Fenn's pockets.
So many
Is this your
birds.
card? Is this your pearl? Holy shit. She kind of like motions like come with me real quick. Let's take like half a walk.
Okay.
And Russ will follow. He keeps like a little distance, but does follow because he's not going to abandon you.
But distance while hand is actively being held.
Yeah, he is at full arm extension. He's not fighting against it, but he's just
Right.
like, this is y'all's convo, and I'm just gonna. Oh, okay.
I'm here,
And
but
I'm here, but how here am I? She gets out into the courtyard and then stops.
Hmm.
And she points upwards. That is incredible. That is something to behold. Your sky, your sparkles, your light.
It is
a
really
gift.
nice.
It's something. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's something. That's something you have going for you is the fancy
Mhm.
skylights all the time. Everything else though sounds bad. It sounds like terrible up here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm actively at war, but besides, what I'm, you know,
But is
could be
it
worse.
better now? Could I walk down there and not get instantly
Oh,
assassinated?
you would definitely get immediately killed or put in some sort of prison. We are still actively at war, and the fact that I am sitting here and looking at a woman I should be, um, treating with respect on the battlefield, um, it makes me feel some type of way. But rules are rules.
Yeah, I haven't talked to any of them. They seem like
Not worth it.
something.
uh, um, certainly something. Bela is a piece of work.
Which one's that?
Uh, uh, the fat one.
Oh,
And
okay.
makes like a pregnant stomach kind of
Yeah,
motion.
that. Yeah. That's an interesting entrance of hers. I didn't like it.
Yeah. You're not the only one who didn't like it. I can tell you that much. It was, you come up here to be nice and pleasant with the people, and then you get slapped in the face.
They won't let you fight them either. I forgot.
Yeah, we have been asked to be very polite and not throw any hands because we are at ceasefire, but and they say no duels, don't do that. And you can't do anything too sneaky because they have the people walking around and everyone. I'll give you a little secret. Every monarch from where I'm from gets to have two people that also get to go around, walk around, not be seen, and are actively doing that as well. And I'm sure they just stand there staring at each other, doing nothing, because they don't want the other one to walk off and stab someone. Who knows?
So there could be invisible stabbings happening, and I wouldn't even know. Wow.
You wouldn't know. And I've not been hoping for it, but it's fine. The second this is over,
Back to it. Yeah.
back to it. I know what everyone's trying to do. I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
I don't know what they're trying. Just like,
Yeah. The little pet, listen, I give him credit, he talks beautifully. The way he crafts a sentence to make you feel like everything he says is right, astounding. But my lady, my lord,
mm,
there are some things that fancy words can't fix.
yeah. Not always. Yeah. I gave him you should ask him for the gift that I gave him for you guys to use instead. Because I put on this ring, right? And when I connected to it, it killed me when I got knocked out.
Ah, that's
And I gave it to
unfortunate.
him to try to apologize for spying on him. But I don't think he's going to use it. So maybe he could give it to you guys and you could use it for your war.
How fun to truly drop dead in front of my enemy is very display-like.
Mm.
I appreciate this gift. I
Mm.
will talk to him about it and see if he is interested in keeping it, and he can have it if he wants it. But if he doesn't want it,
I don't know if you could like convince one of them to put it on, and then I don't know.
hey, could you roll me in this moment? And I'm going to be as kind as I can.
Yeah.
Would you pick a skill
Mhm.
that you would like to roll for like connecting in this encounter? And I'm willing to listen to an option that you choose.
Every charisma skill is -1, so
Yeah.
Give us a flexible option.
I mean, does survival fit into this? Because I'm talking about survival options.
Give me a secondary option. I will consider it, but one more, please.
I mean, persuasion's my immediate thought of the actual best thing, but
By golly, that sounds
yeah,
like
it's the
that's what
true
we're picking, I
option.
guess.
We'll
It is
go
the
with
true
my
option.
-1 option.
Once again, this is not a failure thing. This is a how can you scale sort of thing.
Right.
So a nat 1 isn't going
Hey.
to make her not your friend.
That's 14.
That's not terrible.
Dice are nice today.
While you talk, occasionally she does look up at the stars that are slightly obscured by the snow that occasionally collects on top of this magical dome. I know I talk a big game, but I wonder what it's like if we did stop.
It's nice to not have to fight all the time.
It would be nice.
One of the best parts about being home. Never had to deal with all of this.
Huh. Feeling safe at home would be an amazing feeling. Well, I'll be here tomorrow having a grand time, and I'm sure you will greet me with your best, I'm sure, very accurate interpretation of our language, and I'll be excited to see it.
Great. Okay, we have a few hours to work on it. I got it. I still know that one word that you told me, Elsker. I've got it.
And that's
down pat.
That's probably one of the more important ones. So you hold on to that.
I got it.
All right. Let me go soothe the lady, the Lord, and gives you like a nod and leaves the encounter. You think this was a good encounter. You feel like this person likes you. Maybe you're not friends, but you seem to be able
we're
to.
Friends.
You're like, you push that thought away immediately. We're friends.
Like
Is
it.
there nothing else from the crowd? Remember, you have another night to figure out if there are more things to do to accomplish goals and dreams. Is there anything else as you drink and you dance and a large, muscular, very drunk woman kind of uses Keld as a crutch to exit the building. Keld, you're sort of like dragging three women. You're like, let's go. We're all in this together.
Supporting.
Oh,
You are
God.
you are the
The
pillar in
one-handed
this
support.
community of four.
Oof.
But you're doing it. You may not have any spell slots or lay on hands or anything left in your bones, but you have your bones and you're using them right
And
now.
my 30 HP.
I have 30 hit points. Each of you can have 10. As all of you make your way out of the party and are greeted by, each time it's so shocking, the cold air of night as this party has shielded you from the outside world and you are greeted with cold, brisk, biting winds and snow that flurries around you. And there is still night to be had if you are so inclined, but for now, that is where we will stop. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. If you want to catch up on past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult. You can also watch episodes of other D&D campaigns, one-shots, Vampire the Masquerade. If you're feeling spicy, you can follow us at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow all of us at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. Most recent picture was Keld's look and fit.
Oh,
If you
he
want,
looks
I'll
so
probably
good,
be
y'all.
posting some more fits and we can enjoy them. If you go to the link in the chat, you can head over to Dragon Ink Dice and get some beautiful dice. Dice that made Jenny the greatest sleuth of all time tonight.
Oh my
And
God. she
made
was so
Alyona
good.
feel like she is on par with a god. These
Hell
dice tell a
yeah.
story.
They
love
do.
drama.
They know the story.
They do. They appreciate it. So once again, thank you for being here. We appreciate it and love telling all of you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.